Good morning and welcome to Gaming with ADHD, where it is amateur painting time. Basically, I am wide awake at 2:45 in the morning and might as well get some painting done. Been a really good week for me. Obviously, we had Christmas. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's, so work is pretty easy. But really, like, a few things I'll talk about. Basically, I've got some fun stuff from Christmas. My wife let me go a little bit nuts with some of the sales that happened both before and after Christmas. So things are a little nuts. But regardless, I've got some stuff on the table, and so let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so what I am going to work on tonight is I've got some Star Wars Imperial Assault. These aren't real paints, just wanting to do some cleanup. Had them for a while, sat around, getting really dusty, and also looking back at them, I'm a little better than when I did them, so I should fix them. So I'm going to work on that. I've also got a Marauder representing the Bounty Hunter in progress. Not entirely sure. Overall, I like where he's going, but I kind of feel like I need to pick out some details. I'm just not exactly sure what I want to do. I've got Phelan Kell's Wolfhound 2C. Again, mostly painted. Then I've also got a Trebuchet and a Blackjack to work on. Good morning, Stephen. How are you, sir? Figured I was awake. Why not do a stream where Steve can show up and, hang out and not have to run away because it's super late for him. But anyways, hope you had a great Christmas, holiday, whatever it was you did this year. Mine went pretty well. Let's see. I'm going to start with Luke. I want to put him up on Miniature Showcase, but if I can focus in, you will see that he is less than ideal. Very nice. Do your parents live nearby, or that involve a bit of traveling? Yeah, mine was fantastic. We had family come into town. My wife's brother lives in Vegas, and obviously my wife's parents and his wife's parents also live nearby, so they came down, stayed with us. Those 12-hour drives are rough. We have, to go visit my brother-in-law isn't too bad. It's about 4 to 6 hours, depending on how heavy my foot is. It's usually pretty heavy. And then, man, this really washes out. I think I need to turn down some of the lights. That's a little bit better. Still trying to figure out this streaming because it sometimes feels like you need more. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But yeah, so about 4 to 6 miles to see my brother-in-law. But then we have some friends in Salt Lake City, which is about a 12-hour drive. And and I had 2 nieces get married in Salt Lake about 6 weeks apart. So that was a treat to just make that drive. Working on New Year's Eve, huh? I will admit I do that when I can. Like our company will pay extra for working on New Year's Day, and since I work the night shift, um it will, usually I'll work whatever holiday before, um and I'll work whatever holiday. Basically, if you work on a holiday, they pay you a crap ton of money. So I usually volunteer for holidays if I can. Sometimes I'm just like, nope, my schedule doesn't fall on it this year, so I don't care. But it's a stupid amount of money. And this year they needed extra people for the afternoon shift New Year's Day. So wife wants new carpet in the house. So I volunteered for some overtime. But we've also got a guy going on paternity leave here, I think next week. And so I'm hoping to grab some overtime off of that too. Coming back to some of these miniatures that it's been like at least 6 or 7 years since I put paint down is interesting, to say the least. I keep seeing it. I haven't actually looked into the technique. I don't know. I'm just stubborn when it comes to stuff like that. I don't think my stuff looks that good anyways, but I don't know, just some of the speed techniques just don't quite sit right with me. Let's see here. Nope. So give me the Reader's Digest version of slap chop painting. I know it has to do with like speed and contrast paints, but that's all I've got. I do have Army Painter speed paints though, so who knows? But yeah, for spray black, dry brush all over gray, dry brush again lighter gray or white. How's that different? It just sounds like zenithal priming plus speed paint. I don't see how that is revolutionary and or exciting. Not saying don't try it, but I'm just saying the way that it seems that people talk about it is like, oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing. And it's just like, okay, sounds like a standard technique. Like I'll do that for board game miniatures. Black, zenithal, and then just like a colored wash. Basically, I'm not trying to paint them. I'm just trying to get them so that you can actually see the detail. It's not just a gray blob of plastic. But that's just me. So, I mean, kind of sounds normal. Now, what did I do for his hair? Seriously, I did this like 7 years ago. So I have no idea what color I did for his hair, but I can see all sorts of stuff on his hands that I need to fix. So let's do that. I think it's Reaper Rosy skin. I am such a disaster. Like literally, this is painting with ADHD. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be a few years. Maybe I'll do 10 different projects in the meantime. I don't know. You know what? Let's look fancy. I glanced at it really quick. I got a little distracted. The bundle of holding put up a couple of groups of Rifts PDFs, and I kind of got sucked into those. Yes, absolutely living up to the ADHD. I do want to go over your stuff and then play around with it. I've got a little text message group with some friends to talk about Battletech, so I'm going to throw it over to them. We will probably play around with it a little bit. But yeah, just during Christmas when, bored hanging out with family, or my wife wanted to take us to see A Christmas Carol on the stage. So during intermission, things like that. So I've been reading riffs and just totally getting nostalgic. That was not my first role-playing game, but it was definitely my most involved role-playing game back in my high school days.
It's actually kind of funny. I hear really mixed things about the game. Like some people love the rule set, some people absolutely detest the rule set. Sadly, I don't think I have enough experience either way. I just really, really, really like the setting. It Everybody's just like, oh, it's super gonzo, and it's tossing everything in the kitchen sink, which aren't entirely untrue, but it's put together in a way that sort of seems plausible. I mean, obviously there's fantasy and there's magic and dragons and all that. And it, so there's a lot of quote unquote make believe. But it's still reasonable, we'll say. So I don't know. I always liked it. It was a lot of fun, and I've been digging through that. So I will get to Zukov AU. I have my browser window that has like 100 tabs because I really need to go through and clean it, and yours is one of them. I just haven't done it yet. So that is definitely on mine. That is not what I used. But yeah, no, I've got it. It's actually funny. I've got a pile of board games that I've got to go through and do unboxings on. Like I should do one tonight so that it's ready in the morning. My Star Wars story time I haven't done for a couple of weeks. So I need to catch up on that. Oh, hey, ha! Blonde hair. If I didn't use this one, then I had made all sorts of mistakes. Oh, I'm such a mess. But yeah, so I got that, and then a bookstore here in the US the day after Christmas, so Boxing Day, did 50% off on hardcover books and board games. And I may have gone a little bit nuts. But I got 2 packs of Battletech and like 4 Starfinder books and 2 board games. That's what it was. It is currently 10 minutes after 3 a.m. This is actually rather normal for me. I work, like I said, night shift. So I will usually be up till about 8 a.m. and then sleep until I wake up. But on weekends, sometimes I will pass out at 9 p.m. and wake up at like 2 or 3. But tonight I've been awake, so I'll probably go in somewhere around 5. So that way I don't waste the entire day and the wife doesn't get super grumpy. This is another one I like. Blue Gray Pale. Kind of an odd gray color, but I like it. I use it a lot. But we need just a tiny bit. And actually, let's go with that.
So but yeah, so my game backlog is quite extensive. And I probably should play some of them. Theoretically, we're doing that tonight. Which is kind of weird because I'm better at playing games when people come over. Horrible when it's just me and the wife sitting around. When theoretically, if it's just me and the wife, it should be a lot easier. But work and life gets in the way. So, all right. So, what are you into besides Battletech, Steve? Let's talk. Let's get to know each other a bit. All right. I'm going to use a little bit of Army Painter black wash on the belt, or dark tone, I should say. But then since it's a Stormtrooper belt, I'm actually going to go over it with some gloss varnish. So it shines a little bit. But then I'm also going to use some regular brown wash on his shirt or tunic, or I don't know, whatever I'm supposed to call it. So it looks more like it's got sand kind of caked into it. Just some light tone. Why do I feel like I've been using the wrong? Oh, light, strong, dark. That's sometimes they're horrible at painting. All right. I got into 40K with the launch of 3rd edition. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite stories. So, it was 1998, and I had gotten married in October, and I'd been looking at 40K for most of the year. It's like before I got married. I'll be honest, I started looking at it before I even met the girl. So she's still my wife, but that's anyways. So so I'd been looking at Warhammer forever. And I was out working. She had come with me because like I kind of worked on my own. So sometimes she'd just come with me to hang out. And on the way home, we stopped at the game store. We went in, and I'd known that 3rd edition 40K had just come out. And so I went up to the counter and I said, "Oh, how much is this?"
and the lady of, or the wife of the owner who worked a couple days a week, she's like, oh, it's this much, but we currently have it on sale for this much. Because for what they were in like a price war with another local shop. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, thank you. I just wanted the information. And so I went and started just kind of wandering around the store. And yeah, right? Seriously, like some of their stuff, like we have 4 people at home, and like I don't spend that much on food as like some of their prices. Anyway, so I'm going and I'm just, looking around the rest of the store. I'd found out how much it costs, and I figured, oh well, this is what I want for Christmas, and so my wife will come back and she'll get it for me, and it'll be cool, and this will be like her first Christmas present to me. And so as I'm wandering around the store, I look over and my wife picks up the starter box, puts it on the counter, and buys it right in front of me. And I am stoked because now I know I'm getting it. It's like it's not even like up for debate. I know it's going to happen. So, hey, that's a little too dark. So it's gonna happen. I'm excited. Let's go. So I take it home, and actually I didn't even think it was a Christmas present. I just assumed that she was just buying it for me because she knew that I wanted it. So we get back to our apartment, and I take it out of the trunk of the car and I carry it upstairs, and we get into our apartment, and she takes it from my hands, sits down on the floor, and wraps it right in front of me. This was sometime in November, like mid-November. I don't even think we'd had Thanksgiving here, so pre-Black Friday. It literally sat in our apartment for 6 weeks, at least, just haunting me. I knew it was there. Couldn't get at it, because that was Christmas. And anyways, so that was probably the most evil thing my wife has ever done to me. But it's been a fun story to tell ever since. So that is my 40K intro story. Anyways, so but yeah, no, they do have good looking models, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of over their styling. It's like, here, let's put skulls on everything. Maybe the skull isn't very appropriate, but we're going to do it anyways. And it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's frustrating. They are good models technically. I'm just not a huge fan of the style anymore. So, I will actually go for all sorts of stuff. Nice. Yeah. that's another thing. Like some of the old models, just the old style. It's kind of quirky, it's kind of cartoony. Um but it's definitely just a bit more fun. Um you know, it like they seemed like they were enjoying it a lot more than perhaps they do today. So, I don't regret playing. I just I would like with the new Battletech models, those are fantastic. Um, I really like Mantic stuff. Um, definitely a lot more. I think there's a lot more fun behind it than Games Workshop these days. Um, who else do I like? I mean, I'm also a lot more, case by case basis for the models nowadays. Like I don't have to buy all from one company or anything like that. So, no big deal. But there's also a lot of really good stuff out there. Um, repurposing board game models. Board games have gone nuts with the miniatures lately. And there's some really good stuff there. Like I did the Sedition Wars Kickstarter back in the day, so I could repurpose those suckers for all sorts of things. All right, let's set Luke off to the side. No. Apparently I set Luke in the flesh paint. I just realized I should probably show him off. So I'm definitely just going for board game style or board game quality. It's just Imperial Assault. Nothing fancy on this guy. But Luke Skywalker. Yes, it is for Star Wars. It is for Star Wars Imperial Assault. For the next at least week, probably. That's going to be what's going to be in the miniature showcase, just because I need to get some Battletech done. Imperial Assault is, hey, Scratchmaster, welcome. I am bored, so I am painting and talking. Feel free to chime in and ask any questions. Imperial Assault is based on Descent. Happy New Year to you too, sir. And I had Descent first edition. I have most of second edition. I have most everything for Imperial Assault. It's a fun little, I believe the style is called RPG in a box. I mean, it's basically the combat system. I've tried the app a couple of times for Imperial Assault. So basically Imperial Assault works as, or the app works as the Imperial player, because in all of these games I end up having to be the bad guy, and sometimes I just want to play one of the heroes. So the app is actually fairly solid. So actually do enjoy it. But they've got while they have like named characters, so like you can get Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. I put Obi-Wan Kenobi up on the showcase yesterday. So you can get all of those characters, but you don't actually play with them as much. They're more how do I want to describe it? They're more like kind of like companions in some scenarios. Typically you're going to be playing with a more generic hero. And I just say generic just meaning it's, Wookiee Brawler and they all have names. I just don't know what they are off the top of my head. But it's a Wookiee Brawler or a Twi'lek Jedi Apprentice or things like that. So those are the actual characters that you'll play and level up. So it's a solid system. I've enjoyed Descent from the early days of when it was first edition and a lot more rough. And so technically Imperial Assault is almost a third edition for Descent because it's essentially the same game. But yeah, I haven't done anything with Star Wars Legions, which I'm kind of okay with. Like in a board game, I think Star Wars works well, but like my main issue with like licensed properties is essentially you only have two factions. So for Star Wars, you have the Rebels and you have the Empire. Now, yes, they have the Republic and they have the Trade Federation. Or the Separatists, I guess it is. But at the end of the day, those are just different eras. It's still, Rebels versus Imperials for all intents and purposes. So licensed games just kind of get frustrating to me just because of the fact that they, there's not a lot of variety. So, but in a board game, it's a lot easier, and especially something like Descent where it's playing more like it's basically the combat portion of role playing. But I think it works. I think it works better in that situation. Anyhow, so there's that rant. Where are you from, Scratch? And why are you up at this hour? I'm out of Arizona in the United States. It's 3:30 in the morning. Actually kind of surprised that I'm not waking anyone in my house up. But I usually don't. and since you weren't here at the beginning, basically what I'm doing is touching up these figures. I originally painted them like 6 or 7 years ago. And well, I'm not repainting them. I hate that. Just because it's redoing work that I've already done. Going through and just touching up some scratches. That's fine. Do a little dry brush to get some highlights on the black, because Steven's been here for it before, but I keep talking about my trick of don't use black for black. Use Vallejo dark gray. It's almost black, and like when you put a wash on it, darkens it up, but then the wash actually can get in underneath the seams and whatnot, and it just, give it some definition. And you don't have to go through and highlight everything like I'm doing now. So I'm just putting a little bit of a dry brush on. But I am not a pro painter at all. As long as it's good enough for me, I'm usually okay with it. And I'd rather inspire people to just do something as opposed to how to be the next perfect painter. Because if they always think they have to be perfect, they're never going to get started. So probably a little too much gray on that, but I think it'll clean up with the wash. I think I still, I can salvage that. For washes, I use Army Painter. For paints, I basically use what I get my hands on. So, anyhow, So what else are you hoping to do with gaming this next year, Steve? Obviously, I want to make more videos, get more reviews up. I need to do a review of the new Pseudotech book that just dropped. If you haven't seen it, I did a review on my channel of the first book, and it's awesome. Basically, it's play Battletech as if it was a video game, and the writer did a lot of fun stuff with it. And then he did a supplement that is just goofy because it's all urban mechs. It actually has some stuff for some other mechs, but like they did where is this? Like they did just a bunch of goofy stuff with it. Oh yeah, Urban Fest, that's what it's called. Let me see here. Share screen. And so they did basically it's just more goofy stuff to do, but then they've got art like this. the Old West urban mech. I mean, who is doing this? This is ridiculous. And then, the little shrikes or whatever they are, as vultures. I mean, that's hilarious. It's it's just goofy. I mean, like, here's this guy like a rogue and, Dragon Ball urban mech, super urban mech, wizard urban. I don't know what they're doing. This is just ridiculous and fun. So, anyways, I need to do a review of that, but it's just fun. So there's that. So I'll probably do that in the next couple of weeks. What else? Need to get the guys together again to actually play some Battletech. Because while I probably should. Oh, and hey, don't worry about it, man. I will. If you catch questions, great. If not, I will just ramble on. All right. Han Solo. I usually just put enough wash that his face pops out, which looks like he could use a little bit more, actually. basically 3-foot rule. I am not. That looks a little heavy, but I think it'll dry just right. As long as it looks good enough from the table, I don't mind. All right, now this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I forget what they call them. It's like the Emperor's Champion or something. Basically, this is one of the figures that you buy separately from the boxed games. But in the box game, they actually give you a token for them, so technically you don't even have to buy the figure. It's kind of interesting. They give you like half the bad guys that you would want. And then the other half is all ooh, that is definitely too heavy. So they'll give you like half the bad guys, and usually they're just like generic troopers. But then like the box from that for Coruscant, they did like a little campaign box for it, and it, you get the Emperor, but all you get is an Emperor token. You don't actually get the figure for the Emperor, so that's a little annoying. For the Tatooine expansion, they give you a token for Jabba the Hutt, but they don't give you Jabba the Hutt. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like it, but they're definitely looking at ways to increase monetization, as it were, which I don't really blame them for. It's just it just sort of feels like part of a game doing it that way. So hitting some real thin black. Where I went a little nuts with the gray. What do you think, Scratchmaster? I think my meager attempts are paying off. Let's see. Now we need some thicker black. And yes, I just paint my bases black. I don't really do much fancy with them. Mostly because, especially on a board game, you could paint it up for the jungle. Then it turns out that you're in an Imperial installation. And while I could cut them off and put them on acrylic or clear acrylic bases, that's a lot of work I don't want to do. All right, here's Emperor's Champion. I think I salvaged that gray dry brush. All right. I don't think I'm going to need to do much for old Chewbacca here. He definitely could use a wash, definitely a dry brush on the bowcaster. So we're going to do that and then touch up his base. Oh, so awesome Christmas story. I did something nice for someone else, not going into what, not looking for praise from that. But I do have to tell this part of the story because it's amazing. So, Christmas Eve, I delivered a gift to someone just because I thought they would like it. And I pull up to their house, and they've got a Ring camera. And so at first, I pulled away, drove by. I'm like, oh, I'll come back later, because this was at like 2:00 in the afternoon. I wasn't sneaking past nothing. So, but then I drove around, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do it. If I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it, and I'm gonna wuss out and blah blah blah. Got to get it done. So I went, and I normally don't wear a hat. I hate wearing hats, but I was wearing a hat at this point. So I kind of like keep my head down so that the hat's like this, but I'm not that unrecognizable. And so I went and like just, it was by the front door, and there was kind of like a pillar sort of in front of it. I set the gift in front of the pillar and then just turned around, got in the car, and took off. Well, the next day, Christmas was on Sunday. We went to church. I do go to church with this person, and they weren't there. So I'm like, oh darn, I'm not gonna hear, I'm not gonna hear how it went. So I was a little frustrated on that. But we're leaving church and we're on the way home, and I get a phone call, and it's from the person. They were very grateful. They figured out it was me based on what the gift was. And and he told me that they went back and they looked at the footage from the Ring camera, and they like they were watching it, and there was no gift on the porch, and then there was a glitch, and then there was a gift on the porch. So me walking up, doing everything, was completely not even caught by the Ring camera, and I was so excited about that. The fact that I beat the Ring camera is absolutely amazing. And I realized it was just a technical problem, but I don't care. It was hilarious, and that was my absolute, favorite thing from Christmas. Did something nice for someone else. They absolutely loved it, and I beat the Ring camera, so it was a complete surprise going into it. Oh, I was so excited over that. So, anyways, that's my little rant on that, but it was a lot of fun to hear that. So, we'll see. It's not trying to sound like I'm bragging, but every now and again I find out, or I find a way that I can do something nice for someone else just for fun. And I like doing it. I don't expect anything in return. I don't want anything in return. But if I can beat a Ring camera, that's awesome. Anyways. Hey! What's up, Sean? Nice to see you here. And I should go to bed, but, I'm still awake. So, instead, I'm going to get these Imperial Assault miniatures to not look like suck. Let's see. Oh. That's always fun too. This isn't Star Wars Legion. It's Imperial Assault. I haven't even assembled my bolt action though. But yeah, Steven, that's fantastic. I live in town with my parents, so the worst part there is that I don't see them as often as I should because I'm bad at it. Yes, only. Oh man, I have so much Imperial Assault to get through. But yeah, I need to go hang out with my parents more. My dad just turned 80. My mom is that far behind. So, anyways, I'm bad at it. But we did go over on Christmas Eve and hang out with them. Played a couple of board games. Played Ticket to Ride Germany, which is it's a lot. It's not harder, but it's definitely rougher than regular Ticket to Ride. Like a lot of the tracks are just super close together and not a lot of alternative routes. So that was nuts. But my dad, he served his mission for our church in Germany. And then this was back in the 60s. And then after him and my mom got married, he worked for American Express, and they sent him to Germany. So my brothers were actually even born there. So, anyways, so last year my brother got him Ticket to Ride Germany for obvious reasons. But played that, and we played. I think we played Dixit was the other one. Anyways, it was good. But yeah, at least you got to hang out with your family. Let's see. All right, let's do another Wookiee. Since otherwise, I think he looks fine. Just putting a wash on it. Suppose I should put wash and not black paint. This is the Wookiee character for the game. How was your Christmas, Sean? Or should I say Ragefield? We're on the internet. Use your pseudonym. Oh, and also, as far as only part of Imperial Assault being painted, I have the Stormtroopers painted. That's like the most important part, right? I actually bought the extra squad of Stormtroopers, though, so I have to go through and paint those guys. But that's also one thing I like about doing these kind of impromptu, whenever I have time and feel like doing it. It helps me focus a little bit and actually get some painting done. Because other times it's too easy to just slack off and not do it. So, get online, let people make fun of me and my horrible painting skills. And get some stuff table ready. Very cool. Oh, you're talking about your pile of bolt action. Dude, it's been so long since I've seen you. Are you still in the Phoenix area? I got bolt action Band of Brothers, the starter set for my birthday. Haven't played it yet. I don't have any bolt action tanks, but I actually have Panzer III and a Sherman from some resin kits that we got like a decade ago. They're not great. They work, you know. Let's see here. Yeah, I have most of Imperial Assault. Not quite all of it. I'm probably going to skip the Rebels stuff and just stick to the stuff based on the original trilogy. But yeah, I don't go in there anymore. But since you are in town, I'll hit you up on Messenger, because especially like sounds like we've got some good game crossover. This is looking rough. I don't think I did any of that right. Yeah, I'm going to be touching it up with flesh paint anyways. I think I've been in there like once or twice since lockdown, and then they went nuts, so I haven't been there at all. How is Saturday Night Live, Scratchmaster? I haven't watched it outside of like random clips on YouTube in forever. Reaper Rosy Skin, probably my favorite. I need a good brown skin though. Like I just used, I think it was like chocolate brown. For the Cloud City Guard. I did 3 different skin tones, and I think they came out okay. For some reason, my brain just says chocolate brown isn't right. Yeah, I've seen that one, dude. I don't know how Adam Driver gets any roles. He is an ugly dude. Like, I'm sure he's super nice. He's not a bad actor. He's just not attractive. I admit I am not into dudes, but just something about him. The Wheel of Fortune skit before the one. Okay. The only real Saturday Night Live skit that I've seen in a long time is David S. Pumpkins with Tom Hanks. And it's hilarious. Yeah, I can imagine Saturday Night Live Wheel of Fortune. The old Jeopardy days with Will Ferrell as Alex Trebek. But man, Wheel of Fortune, I haven't watched that in decades. Growing up, that was grandma's show. If grandma was around and Wheel of Fortune was on, good luck trying to watch anything else. Like before Wheel of Fortune, after Wheel of Fortune, grandma didn't care. You could watch whatever you wanted at her house. Wheel of Fortune comes on, back off. That's grandma's time. Don't interrupt it. We had a lot of fun. I liked my grandma. They were angry, stubborn old ladies. They actually weren't that angry. They were relatively nice. But seriously, don't interrupt Wheel of Fortune. I have a feeling I used a different color on this. So now I get to do the whole thing. So, Ragefield, what tanks did you get for Christmas? US tanks, German tanks, Russian tanks, British tanks, Japanese tanks. And also, what are you doing up at 4 o'clock in the morning? On a Saturday. I at least have an excuse. I'm still a third shift weirdo. And yes, I still work at the place we met. Yeah, I'm going to do the same. Stick with US and German. I'm not looking to go too deep into it. I just thought it would be fun to experiment with and try some stuff out for my channel. It was 10 p.m. and now it's 4 a.m. Okay. Have you gone to bed yet? Because I haven't. I'll go here in a few. Yeah, again, 6:30 in the morning or 6:15 in the morning. So that means you're East Coast. Again, what are you doing up so early? It's Saturday for heaven's sakes. especially 6:15 and watching this weirdo on stream. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit different for this. I might not be as loud on YouTube, but that's probably because you're cheating by just turning me down. Yeah, you probably missed it. I mentioned that I'm not really like I get frustrated on licensed properties. Because you really only get two factions. It's rare that a licensed property will have like enough factions to actually make it playable. Even Bolt Action at least has US and Germans and Russians and Japanese and Finns and whoever else was involved, or at least, hey, take these models and put these different heads on it and you can get this other country. Like Star Wars, you have rebels and Imperials. And even whatever they do to try and make it seem like they're giving you options, you're not. It's clone troopers are just Imperials before they went bad. So I've tended to stay away from those lately. Still have all my X-Wing stuff, though. Never made the switch over to 2.0. Cool. Recordings as in like TV shows or your own YouTube channel? The New Year's festivities? That ain't the right brown. That ain't the right one. Really? Cool. Night, Ragefield. Good to hear from you, man. Have a good New Year's. All right. I think I'm going to call it quits after this guy. So I can get a little bit of sleep and still get up and help the wife with the weekend chores. All right, so nothing phenomenal accomplished, but I'm pretty happy with it. I think those will look really good showing up later. All right. So for those of you watching, Upcoming this week, I'm going to have a Battletech video out on Monday, doing a miniatures review of the mechs that you get out of Clan Invasion. Basically, I'm going to compare it with the mechs that you get with some of the old art compared to the new designs. And then I've got another unboxing for the adventure kits from Mantic Games and their terrain crate lines. That'll come out on Wednesday. Probably a board game review on Tuesday. Basically, it's going to come down to where my motivation lands me. But I am working on some cool interviews to come later this month or later next month. And one's going to be with another YouTuber, and another's going to be with an author, or hopefully with an author. Just need to lock that down. But regardless, I am super excited to get those done. Hopefully, I'm going to have a book review out tomorrow. There's a new book coming out in January. I got an advanced copy of it. It's really good. And if you are a fan of Battletech, you're going to want to look at this one. So there is that. Let's see. What is the X1? I only know the airplane. But regardless, got a lot of fun things. I've got lots of games to unbox, to play, to figure out what to do with. I have picked up tons of role-playing games over the past month. So I literally have content that could last me all year long if I get off my butt and actually do it. So anyways, regardless, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Happy New Year to you, Steven. Happy New Year to you, Scratch. And anybody else that's watching. I do hope it is safe. I hope it is fun. And, just, look forward to seeing you all in the new year. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time. Don't forget to like, and if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you are old here, thank you so much for coming. And other than that, we will talk to you all next time. Thanks for watching.